By now, you've probably heard about Justin Trudeau's internet censorship law, Bill C-10. This legislation will give the government the power to regulate and censor the content you see on your personal social media sites like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This opens the door to the government stifling your freedom of speech and is a massive infringement on your rights as a Canadian. Let's talk about what we're going to do to stop it. This is Minister Guilbeault. He's the Liberal minister that Justin Trudeau put in charge of Bill C-10. Here he is on television just a few days ago talking about government censorship on individual Canadian internet users.
What we want to do, this law should apply to people who are broadcasters or who act like broadcasters. So if you have YouTube channels with millions of viewers and you're deriving revenues from that, then at some point the CRTC will be asked to put a threshold. But
the original version of C-10 explicitly exempted everyday Canadian social media users from regulation. Then suddenly, a few weeks ago, the Liberals changed their mind and quietly opened the door to limiting freedom of expression online by removing the exemption.
I'm going to flip the question for a moment here, Minister, because it was important enough to put that exclusion there in the first place. Now it's gone. Why was it important in the first place to put it there?
We're not interested. I mean, it's not what the bill is about.
I mean, I hear you saying you're not interested, but there literally was an exclusion that was put in the original iteration of that bill, the thing that was reviewed, and then it got to committee, and bingo, bango, bongo, the exclusion is gone. So why was it important to put it there in the first place, such that now the committee has removed it?
Well, I mean, the committee decides what they want. The bill, first of all, the committee hasn't even finished doing its work in terms of the amendments.
Let me be crystal clear. If this bill passes, I will repeal it. Conservatives support leveling the playing field between large foreign streaming services and Canadian broadcasters. We will introduce legislation to force foreign streaming services to spend a significant portion of their revenue producing original content in both English and French. And we will cut fees and red tape to let Canadian broadcasters compete. It is possible to introduce strong protections for Canadian culture and content without violating the free speech rights of Canadians on the internet. The internet has become a critical tool for everyday citizens to hold governments to account and have their voices heard. Without this freedom, social media users might not have witnessed China cracking down on student protesters in Hong Kong, or follow Russian dissidents in their fight against tyranny. Keeping social media open to everybody is how this generation is telling the story of democracy, and I'm going to fight to keep it that way. So let me be crystal clear. If this bill passes, a Conservative government will repeal it. I hope you're with me.